You wake up. It's 3 a.m. No alarm went off. Nothing happened. You just woke up. And you lie there in the dark, annoyed, wondering what's wrong with you. Here's the thing. Nothing is wrong with you. Your body is doing exactly what it was built to do for 300,000 years. You just don't know it yet. Because tonight, when the sun goes down, you're going to flip a switch. Light will flood the room, and you won't think twice about it. But for 99.9% of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun set, the world went dark. You couldn't even see your own hand in front of your face. Every single one of your ancestors spent roughly half their life like this. No candles, no lamps, just the black sky, the stars, and whatever fire they could keep alive. So what did they actually do for all those hours? And why does your body still remember it? Let's start with fire, because fire is the reason any of this was possible. The earliest solid evidence of humans controlling fire comes from Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, roughly 1 million years ago. Before that, our ancestors were like every other primate. When the sun went down, you climbed a tree or found a sheltered spot, and you stayed still. Moving at night meant becoming food. Our eyes are terrible in the dark compared to the predators that hunted us. Leopards, hyenas, wolves, they could all see just fine. Fire changed that overnight, literally. A campfire creates a circle of safety roughly 30 feet wide. Inside that circle, predators won't come. Outside it, you die. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups have documented that people who wander away from the fire at night are still, today, significantly more likely to be killed by predators. But fire didn't just protect people, it gave them something they'd never had before. Extra hours. Before fire, the useful day ended at sunset, maybe 12 hours in summer, as few as 8 in winter. Fire added 2 to 4 usable hours to every single day, and over thousands of generations, those extra hours changed our species. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner published a study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. She spent years recording conversations among the Juhuansi Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last groups on Earth still living something close to the original human lifestyle. During the day, about 80% of conversations were practical: who's hunting where, which plants are ready, logistics, work. But at night, around the fire, everything changed. At night, 81% of conversations were stories, tales of distant places, adventures, myths about the origin of the world, jokes that made the whole camp laugh. The campfire was the original theater, the original classroom, the original church. It's where humans learned to think beyond the immediate present and imagine things that don't exist yet. But the night wasn't just about stories around the fire. There was something else happening, something scientists only rediscovered in the last 30 years. You were not designed to sleep the way you sleep right now. In 2001, historian Roger Ekirch published a paper that changed sleep science. He spent 16 years digging through historical records and found something nobody expected. Over 500 references, prayer books from the 1400s, court records, diaries, medical texts, even passages in Homer's Odyssey, all mentioning the same thing: first sleep and second sleep. Before the industrial age, people did not sleep in one continuous block. They went to bed shortly after sunset, slept about 4 hours, then woke up. They stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night. Then they went back to sleep for another 4 hours until dawn. This wasn't insomnia. This was normal. This was how every human on the planet slept for thousands of years. And what did people do during that wakeful window? Everything. A 16th century French physician recommended couples conceive children during this time, believing they'd do it better. People visited neighbors. They interpreted their dreams while they were still fresh. A doctor's manual from the 1500s advised patients that the best time to study and reflect was during the watch, the quiet hours between first and second sleep, when the mind was calm and the world was still. For centuries, historians kept mistranslating first sleep into something else. The assumption that people slept in one block was so deep, translators literally rewrote ancient Greek and medieval Latin to force it to fit. Then science confirmed what history had been saying all along. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment. He took a group of volunteers and removed all artificial light from their lives. For 1 month, they experienced 14 hours of darkness every night. just like our ancestors before fire extended the evening. Within weeks, every single participant settled into the same pattern: 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness, then 4 more hours of sleep. Nobody told them to do this. Nobody suggested it. It was as if some ancient program had been waiting inside them the whole time, buried under centuries of artificial light. Ware measured their hormone levels during that wakeful period and found something remarkable. Their brains were producing elevated levels of prolactin, the same hormone released during meditation and after orgasm. They described feeling peaceful, reflective, almost meditative. It wasn't a gap in sleep. It was its own distinct state of consciousness, one most modern humans have never experienced. So what killed it? Light. In the 1600s, cities began installing street lamps. Paris was one of the first, under Louis XIV, to reduce crime. London followed. The night, once a place of danger, slowly became navigable. Then came cheaper candles. Then gas lamps in the 1800s. Then, in 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric light bulb. Within a generation, the night as humans had known it for 300,000 years was gone. Here's the part nobody talks about. The word curfew comes from the French couvre-feu, literally cover fire. In medieval towns, a bell would ring at night, signaling everyone to cover or extinguish their fires. Not for safety, because night was supposed to be dark. Night was when you slept. In many medieval European cities, walking outside after dark without a lantern was literally illegal. Then we conquered the night. We flooded it with light. We called it progress. But here's what we lost. Modern humans are exposed to artificial light for an average of 7 to 8 hours after sunset. That light, especially the blue light from screens, suppresses your body's production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Your body doesn't know the difference between a light bulb and the sun. When light hits your retina at 11 p.m., your brain thinks it's daytime. It delays melatonin release. It fragments your sleep. It disrupts a rhythm that took millions of years to evolve. Researchers have found that people who go camping for just 1 week with zero artificial light have their melatonin cycles reset by nearly 2 hours. Their bodies start producing melatonin at sunset instead of hours after it. That's all it takes for 300,000 years of programming to reassert itself. We didn't just change when we sleep, we erased an entire phase of human consciousness. That quiet, meditative state between first and second sleep doesn't exist for most people anymore. Instead, we call it insomnia. We treat it like a disorder. But what if it's not a disorder at all? What if waking up at 3 a.m. and lying there in the dark isn't your body malfunctioning? What if it's your body remembering exactly what it was built to do? For 300,000 years, your ancestors spent their nights in a rhythm we're only beginning to understand. They gathered around fires and told stories that built civilizations. They slept in 2 phases, with a quiet window in between. They lived in darkness so complete the Milky Way wasn't something you drove to a national park to see. It was just the sky. And every night, in that window between first and second sleep, they lay there in silence and thought about their lives, their dreams, the world they'd wake up to in the morning. We traded all of that for a light switch, and most of us never even knew it was gone. So next time you wake up at 3 a.m. for no reason, don't reach for your phone. Just lie there for a minute. See what happens.